barriers are why we play games, right? That assonance and dissonance, right? That ebb and flow, those cycles of friction. We play games to be challenged. We just have to make the challenge or the friction adjustable or adaptable enough so that it fits human diversity. I'm Bryce Johnson. I work on inclusive design for Windows and devices. I'm one of the inventors of the Xbox Adaptive Controller. The real belief that we have is that there is no inclusive design without bringing in people with disabilities. You have to engage that community. And that led to the development of this space, the Inclusive Tech Lab, which we started in 2017, and we've hosted over 17,000 people since then. We continue to sort of bring people in to tell them the story of our inclusive design process. But the most important thing about the Inclusive Tech Lab is that it is a place for our disabled customers here on the Microsoft campus. We think a lot about in our inclusive design methodology about fit, right? Like this idea that one size fits all, we don't believe in. We don't believe in this idea of one size fits all. So it's always important to engage with multiple different types of folks with disabilities, as much as you can. We used to talk to a lot of folks who had limited mobility, and they would say, well, I don't play Xbox, I'm a PC gamer. And we're all used to hearing that, but we had to dig deeper to kind of go, well, why are you a PC gamer? Well, I'm a PC gamer because I can't use the controller. We had to recognize that our beloved Xbox controller is designed in a certain way, and you have to use it in a certain way, and we assume you're going to use it in a certain way. And so the recognition that when someone had disability that caused them to not move in typical ways, that we were creating the barrier because we were gating interactions on the console through our controller. One of the cool pivots that really shaped how we thought about the modularity of systems that people could come up with was Xbox Copilot. Being able to take two controllers and tell the console that they're one controller really gave you a lot of variety and an opportunity to create a system that really fit you. You could put one stick on your chin and the other one on your hand if you were someone who, say, only has one hand, right? And you could all of a sudden play a twin stick game with just two Xbox controllers. And so that modularity is really important, and that freed us with the adaptive controller to walk a little bit further away from a traditional controller form to something that could be truly, really modular. The reason why we call the adaptive controller and all of our adaptive hardware adaptive is that we're striving to make this stuff adapt to you, not you to it. And that's really the approach that we take when we consult with folks is like, tell me what you can actually move. Like, can you move like your arms or your legs? Can you move your head? Can you bite something? Right? And we really think about putting functionality where someone has movement. When it comes to like game input, there's all different types of ways to kind of think about it. I mean, I always kind of say multimodal input is Microsoft's birthright. We owned mouse and keyboard, two different input modalities that you used all the time, and they're in harmony. And so how do we do mouse and voice? How do we do keyboard and eye gaze? How do we do all these different types of inputs that we have available to us to like let people do more, right? And play more. I tend to think about speed a lot because speed not only affects people with limited mobility, but it affects different types of people with neurodiversity when it comes to processing speed. So let's say I am someone who wants to play like a really Souls-like hard game, but the problem is it's just a little too fast. Can I slow it down for my mobility? Because I might not have the reaction time. I'm not saying reduce the difficulty, I'm saying reduce the speed. So there's all kinds of aspects when we talk about input and mobility that I think people tend to group together into this simplistic idea of easy, normal, hard. And I think there's a lot of opportunity for us to think about it situationally too. It's really easy in accessibility to focus on the barriers and who you're excluding, and we absolutely should. But you gotta remember the reasons why we're all here, right? That we're all here to have like fun. And so like honoring the fact that people have fun and want to play this game. Like you're talking to someone who's disabled and they're telling you the challenges they have with the assumptions that a game designer has made and the barriers that they inadvertently kind of put in. But like they're dying to play this game. And, you know, I mean, I always try to tell game designers who want to do the right thing, but maybe not have access to like the amount of different types of people with limited mobility that I do. Like, imagine what the spectrum of movement is, and then go a little wider, right? You know, just go more. Like, it might feel uncomfortable to you, but it's, you know, someone's going to appreciate it.